He put the finest engineers and technicians from Canada on the job to make sure that everything ran smoothly. Let's take a look. Oh, what, they couldn't get a paperweight? All right, Justin Trudeau, as has been rumored for the past week or so, is donezo. Here's how Fox News reported it just about an hour ago.
Breaking news north of the border. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau moments ago says he will resign today. Says he will stay on until a replacement is picked. CBC is reporting that he's set to hold a news conference next hour. Trudeau is facing mounting pressure from within his own Liberal Party to step down. He trails behind opposition Conservatives in Canada. His job approval is in free fall. You got affordable housing shortages. You got persistent inflation. You got worsening economic outlook. You got all that up against him. For Canadian citizens. So we'll get that to you next hour. We got some break.
Yeah, all that stuff was going on here in America, and Biden thought he could run for 4 more years. Kamala Harris decided to run on it as a winning record. I guess at least Justin Trudeau has a little bit more political sense than them. He's stepping down, although the difference is his own party, the Liberal Party up there in Canada. I do like the fact that they just admit who they are. The Liberals here in America still try to call themselves Democrats. Although nothing about what they just did in the last year on a national stage had anything to do with the democratic process. That's okay. They should just call themselves liberals. That's what they are. The party of Justin Trudeau up in Canada said, get out of here. We're going to get slaughtered if you stay as our nominee. If you're going to slaughtered if you run again as prime minister, please leave. And well, he's leaving. And at the announcement there in Ottawa, he put the finest engineers and technicians from Canada on the job to make sure that everything ran smoothly. Let's take a look. Oh, what, they couldn't get a paperweight? He could just get a rock. All right, so the wind blows his speech away, and now he's coming to make his dramatic entrance. I do like the maple leaf. There goes who the hell knows what he said? They had the microphone, they had the speakers, they had the cameras, they had the perfect shot with the wood podium and the maple leaf and everything. And someone forgot to stick a rock on the speech. He couldn't even walk holding the speech in a binder. What? This is why Canada's falling behind. This is why Canada needs to be liberated. Now, this move could shore up Trump's intention to turn Canada into the 51st state. You can all breathe a sigh of relief there, I suppose, when he finally got his stuff together, let's say, before waxing poetic about how great their hockey program is, and even more importantly, Tim Horton coffee and maple donuts. Prime Minister Trudeau had this to say.
I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. Mes chers amis, comme vous savez, je suis un fighter.
Yeah, au revoir. This smarmy, stuck-up, arrogant, holier than thou, sanctimonious little prick. It's a beautiful thing to see him under fire like this, and I love that he's blaming his own party. The people deserve a choice, and clearly, if I'm having to fight internal battles, the battle is that they want you gone because you suck. Listen, I'd love the Canadian people to have that choice too. I mean, this is you know what, Pierre, that's his dad. Justin, you should stay in there, man. Screw your party. Just fight. Pull a Biden. Jump on in there. Say, no. I want the Canadian people to be able to pick me if they want me. Let's go. Let's go all in so we can have a complete clean sweep in Parliament of your party. It's so transparent what he's doing here, and he's trying to blame internal politics and internal fighting and squabbling. And no, if you're right, the people of Canada deserve a clear choice. between the two parties. You're the man who represents best the Liberal Party. So just stay in there, you quitting little weasel. I mean, I guess the French part of French Canadian is compelling him to wave the surrender flag and get off the stage. And that might make a difference, actually, for the Liberal Party. I doubt it. I doubt it. You just heard the litany of all the problems up there right now. And meanwhile, let me just say, as his nation was falling apart, as he has rampant crime, as he has rampant inflation, as he has issues with immigration and migrants and illegal immigration screwing up the job market there. You've got disgruntled people. You have a budget crisis there. Oh, they always tout how great their healthcare system is. Let me just tell you something. There's two things to know about the Canadian healthcare system in the last several years. Number one, it's going belly up. And number two, the most effective thing they've come up with is to convince people to kill themselves, so they no longer become a burden on the state. And everyone who wants social health care in America, take a look, because that's what it looks like. Hey, let's legalize suicide, and now it'll become, something that we prescribe and encourage people to do, because it's a lot less expensive to keep people living here in this socialized healthcare system. It's a mess. It's a complete and total disaster, and the Conservative Party is looking to swing its way back into power. This guy, though, as everything was falling apart and crumbling around him, and he was under fire, he sanctimoniously stood across the world stage, acting like he was some sort of world leader, lecturing the rest of us on how we should run our affairs. How many times did we Americans have to endure this stuck-up little pig screaming at us about what we should do about our immigration policy, what we should do about our gun policies, where they don't have a Second Amendment up in Canada, what we should be doing about our economy and various aspects of policies in America that Donald Trump and conservatives continue to maintain, bring us more freedom, more liberty, and thus a freer and stronger economy. He lectures us, and now his entire government is falling apart. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. By the way, let's not also forget the kind of great sound political messaging Justin Trudeau has become famous for.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
He's a proud feminist, everybody. He's something else, too. He's an unemployed proud feminist. There you go. Lecturing us because we didn't elect a woman as our president. By the way, people don't know this, but in his quest for power in Canada, he elbowed aside, with pretty sharp elbows, by the way, women who had leadership positions above him in his party. He sabotaged them. He stabbed them in the back. He undermined them so he could get power in Canada. So he's one to lecture us. I mean, hasn't Canada had like a female prime minister for like 4 weeks or something? And that was it. Are you stepping aside and are you endorsing a woman, Justin? This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. This sanctimonious, smarmy, little arrogant narcissist who can't control things in his own country and with his own party. But then he stands there looking down at us. And the only way he's looking down, by the way, is because they happen to be north of us. And I still think that that's like up and down, which technically, since the planet is round, and yes, it is round, it's not flat, that's not up above us. It's sort of north of us, but it's on a plane of a sphere. And I was never good at geometry, but you understand what I'm talking about. He would look down on us because he's north of us and try to lecture us about how we're supposed to run our country. Get your own house in order, Justin. Let's remind everybody who's waiting in the wings right now. The de facto leader of the Conservative Party, who, if he plays his cards right, and if the media doesn't prop up whoever replaces Justin Trudeau, he should swing into power. He should be their next prime minister. This guy, Pierre Poilievre, this is probably one of our favorite videos of this show when it first started. It was a little over a year ago when it first broke. He was talking to a reporter in Canada, and this is how you deal with the media. When you're conservative politicians, this is the only way you can deal with the media.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly
Give me an
you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways,
I don't really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like who?
I don't know who, but
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways,
Some
the
people
point
say.
of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
What are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not
just
sure.
wondering.
I don't know what your question
Okay,
is.
then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense.
That's it. Honestly, I fell in love with this man from that moment. From that moment, I fell in love with him. How great would it be if he's the new prime minister? Go to those G7 events with Trump. It's a beautiful thing. So bye-bye, Justin Trudeau. And as our friend Greg Price says, recalling the battles up in Ottawa over the vaccine mandate for truckers, you'll remember, when they blockaded the city so that they could have their voices heard. Justin Trudeau ordered all of the banks to suspend all of their accounts and debank them and go after them for criminal charges because they protested against the vaccine mandate, where they were alone, single truck drivers sitting in a cab for hours on end. And they were trying to put them out of business because they didn't go forward with a vaccine mandate. This is what that protest looked like. And as Greg Price says, hope this guy enjoys a few Labatt's today to celebrate Governor Trudeau resigning. Yeah, and by the way, as a good Canadian, love the hat too. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. That's Canada. That's what Canada's supposed to be. Not that pencil-necked little proud feminist jerk who's been representing you. That's Canada right there. That's the Canada I know. That's Tim Hortons. That's hockey on a frozen lake without pads. That's hockey. That's Canada. While he's enjoying a Labatt's as Justin Trudeau exits off the political stage, he can also celebrate one other great thing, as a true Canadian would, and that was the World Junior Hockey Championships yesterday, where USA won the gold medal for the second time in a row, for the first time in world history. See, because if you really, really are a Canadian, you got to love excellent hockey. And the best hockey, everybody knows, comes from America. Increased tariffs on our trade partners are in the news. Tax cuts in the news. Congress about to address that in a reconciliation package. Regulation changes. Trump wants to hit those on day one. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only company I endorse, they're now releasing the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. Get your free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold. Just text my name, Larry, to the number 989898. That's so easy to remember. It's like they reserved it just for me. 989898. Text my name, Larry. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold, still the company I recommend to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Not a penny out of your pocket. Just text my name, Larry, to 989898. Get your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. No obligation, just information. Text Larry to 989898. Why don't you do that today? Do it right now. Do it now. Do it now.